Welcome.
What you mean, welcome?
That's obscene.
Sean's laughing.
No, but it's AmityCast. Very fitting that it's AmityCast because Amity Island, and we're talking about the whale. The whale.
That's a stretch. Just like his weight.
Well, I guess. Yeah, that was funny. Good job.
Didn't laugh.
Two not funny didn't laugh. Anyway, the whale released last year. Now, I guess.
Damn, it's been a whole year.
No.
It's about like 2 weeks.
Yeah, it premiered at TIFF, which was like September. I think.
It's been a few months, yeah.
Yeah, which we didn't think we'd get around to seeing it, but a theater nearby actually was showing it, which is awesome. It was one of my most hyped films later in the year once I found out about it. So, The Whale, starring Brendan Fraser and some others, directed by Darren Aronofsky, who is best known for Requiem for a Dream, which is a masterpiece. Mother, which is pretty good. I always forget what's his other one.
Did you get Black Swan, you said?
Black Swan, I believe. Yes. I think he directed but didn't write Black Swan. Black Swan. Yeah, Darren Aronofsky. I'm forgetting something. Mother, The Whale. Those are really his only ones, but no, really good director. He's only got a few movies under his belt, but he's really good when he does take the mantle. And then we'll also talk about just our favorite films of the year. I saw a lot. You didn't see quite as many, but you still saw some. So yeah, we could go over that. But overall thoughts, The Whale, Matthew. What do you got for me?
It was an uncomfortable experience for good reasons.
Yeah.
One of my favorites of the year, for sure. Brendan Fraser is excellent. So is his daughter, too. I actually really liked her performance. Actually, everyone's really.
Yeah, there was only like 6 characters. And
which really, I think it helps.
Yeah, absolutely.
I really, I could feel that, like, the environment I was stuck in.
Right.
And, like, when you would see the outdoors, it felt like such a literal breath of fresh air.
It was executed pretty perfectly.
It was heartbreaking.
There's pretty much just the one location the entire time. There's like flashbacks to a moment.
There's flashbacks, yeah.
That's somewhere else.
Usually the beach one.
That beach, yeah.
But spoilers, of course.
Yeah.
Is where it ends on.
But in general, we're looking at Brendan Fraser plays a man who
Is this his first film in how many years?
It's been a while. I'm not sure exactly how long, but while you're checking on that, he plays a very obese man, like extremely unhealthy, who is cared for by his friend who's a nurse. And then he's also visited by a missionary who continues to come back because he wants to save him. And he tries to reconnect with his daughter after not seeing her for a very long time after he walked out on the family. So that's the overall premise. It sounds like there's not very much to it, which is kind of true. It's very dialogue-focused scenes. It's a 2-hour runtime, and it feels perfectly paced. It's a really nice, brisk film.
So it sounds like he was still in some stuff in the late 2010s, but that was the last time he was in anything. So it's been at least over 10 years.
Wow.
Because then he didn't come back until 2016, where he just gave an interview.
Oh, yeah.
He was sexually assaulted?
Yeah.
In 2003? That's when I was born.
Yeah, Brendan Fraser's been through a lot. I guess he that's kind of the main thing with this movie is that he gives such an incredible performance. He's known for being in a lot of cheesy movies.
He was the villain in the Batgirl movie that got canceled.
Yeah.
Do you know that?
I did know that, yeah.
Which was sad, but it looked terrible. So
right.
He's kind of the only thing I was interested.
Right.
So,
which he's always one of those actors like I enjoy him, but he doesn't seem to have like he's range. He's not the most ranged.
Well, he was in 3 Mummy movies,
right?
That I haven't seen.
But then looking at this is a dramatic character study with a good director, with a direction that definitely fits him for sure. And he was able to give a really compelling performance. Some of his line deliveries were absolutely incredible. They really got to me. He had some moments that were genuinely traumatizing. Like, you could feel trauma in his voice, and he just did it incredibly. He really brought the character to life in the best ways. I think he amplified all the performances around him as well. I really enjoyed pretty much every character because it doesn't feel bloated because of how much there is.
Yeah, I saw some people...
No pun intended.
I did want to talk about some of these complaints people have about multiple parts of this movie. There was one person I saw who was complaining that like all the side characters sucked. There was like no arcs, which made the least sense.
Which I definitely disagree with.
I could see maybe the church kid. His acting was sometimes a little iffy.
I mean, yeah,
I didn't expect them to give as much backstory as they did.
Yeah, he became much more of an important character, which I guess makes sense because there's so few characters like really in the movie.
There was also people complaining that this movie's like very fat phobic and against Christians.
Right.
Which I think they just say that about the director. I don't know if in his other work if he's very anti-Christian, but this movie didn't feel anti-Christian, so I don't know what they're talking about. It just felt like a critique on it.
I mean, people are allowed to interpret it however they want. My interpretation is that it's a critique of missionary work for specific types of religion. This is something I always have to tell people about when they talk about how Christians actually act, which it's not all Christians, but some have acted certain ways throughout history that have been very unsatisfactory and doesn't actually reflect what they should actually be practicing. And I definitely understand that. And what's shown in this movie is we see, because that a lot of his arc is that he wants to help Charlie. Charlie's the name of the main character. He wants to save him because he's gonna die soon because of how overweight he is. And the whole thing with Charlie is that he doesn't really want to be saved. He doesn't believe in any of that.
It definitely painted that part into play, because I didn't really think about that, because when you see really fat people, you just kind of like just get better.
Yeah.
But the fact that I feel like they don't deserve to get better is why they continue doing it.
Right, exactly.
I guess I kind of just overlooked that. I just assumed they like just gorging themselves for no reason.
Right.
That's why I don't think it's fat phobic either.
Yeah, no.
I mean, obviously, there was a lot of characters that were really mean to him about his weight, but it made sense since he was like an absent father. He had sex with a student, and he wasn't taking care of himself.
Right. Like
he had so much money and he wasn't doing anything.
He did some bad things, which also drives his entire motivation throughout the plot. See, a lot of it's really tightly wound. That's why I really like it. Everything about it all circles back to something that actually applies to the movie and actually makes sense.
Like the opening scene I didn't like initially, where it showed him like watching gay sex.
Yeah.
For like a minute straight, and then throughout the movie it actually made sense, and now I don't dislike it.
Yeah.
Because it's supposed to kind of shock you, so...
Well, yeah. I mean, it's just like...
Still, that was a little bit of a weird way to introduce everything. I thought...
It was weird for it to be the first scene, yeah. Well, I mean, I guess the very initial scene was like that, like...
It was important...
That classroom thing. I guess that was the very first thing, but the first we actually see of him is that, and it's very...
The classroom stuff
very
I also
unsettling,
like,
off-putting.
I like the scene where he finally shows all his classmates.
Yeah, that was good. He one of his mini arcs throughout the movie is how he wants people to just be honest. He wants there to be honesty, because all the characters around him, he keeps seeing an absence of that. He's a professor. He's a writing professor for an online class.
But he used to be in
right.
person,
Yeah. So, and then he just, with everything going on in his life, like the last thing he says for his students that we see in the movie, because I guess he's getting replaced or something. But he just says, just screw all the normal words, just write me something honest. And then they do write us something honest. He's like, okay, I'm going to be honest with you, because his camera isn't actually broken. He just didn't want to show himself because he was ashamed of himself, and then he finally does, and that's how that all goes along. He's a really deep character, and I really enjoy how he's portrayed. What I think is great is that it acknowledges that he's flawed and he's trying to right his wrongs, but the characters around him are not quick to forgive him at all, and it feels very real, especially his daughter.
I especially loved the scenes. I guess it was kind of like a climactic, I guess you would call it third act, because it's kind of, there's not really like a villain in this movie.
Yeah.
There's no like really big plot. It's just really character stuff. I love the scenes with him and his ex-wife. I didn't expect that.
Yeah,
Their conversations were really
scene
powerful.
was very powerful. Yeah, because it felt so real. It felt like
I felt like they were married.
Their performances were very good because they really made it seem like they had a bond that was broken, and how they truly felt about that, and like as they went along, and how they were able to portray that was really impressive. It just goes to show. I don't know the actress's name, but she did a great job.
Familiar.
Yeah, I know I've seen her in something. But
then I realized that halfway through the movie, but the church boy was actually the kid from Iron Man 3.
Yeah.
And Insidious, the first two.
Right, yeah. Which I did not realize that at first, but
I just thought he sounds completely different. He looks kind of different. I just noticed his face just looked a little... it's crazy to see how much he's gone.
Right.
It's been 10 years since Iron Man 3 now, so... I remember seeing that in theaters and like eating at the Cheesecake Factory at Jordan Creek before. So
really,
it was one of my first times at Jordan Creek. I think
I remember that too. That was like 10 years ago, wasn't it?
2013. Yeah, that was a big year. Kind of. Though The Dark World came out.
Yeah.
Did you see the stuff with Jeremy Renner?
What? Oh yeah.
His legs.
Yeah, Jeremy Renner was in like a snowplowing accident.
He's fine now. Well, he's not fine, but he's
he's doing okay now. Yeah.
Jesus.
Yeah, I saw that it was like because that was the night.
That
was the night I was at the hospital because of Justin.
Yeah. Oh yeah, we did talk about
it. It came through and it was like, oh, Jeremy Renner was in a snowplowing accident in critical but stable condition. I was like, what? What? Okay, hope he's okay. And like, yeah, he's doing fine now. But that's very. No, but it's a really satisfying movie in a lot of ways because it all feels real. Even like the arcs, the way they're settled within the film, so it doesn't feel incomplete, but they're settled in a way that feels real because they're not fully actually realized in a way that like...
This feels like a respectful way because like there's shows like 600 Pound Fat Life where it just seems like they're just kind of like using them for entertainment. This feels like this feels like something that like accurately shows how people that are stuck in this lifestyle are.
Yeah.
But in like a movie way.
Right. Yeah, and
I'm really curious on how this whole movie started and how they got Brendan Fraser on it.
Yeah, I would like to know the story behind that.
If whatever comes out on like streaming and stuff, I hope there's some bonus features on that. Or like a commentary or something. Because I'd watch a commentary on this movie.
Yeah, I would. Yeah, I definitely would too. It's the type of movie that'd be perfect for a commentary track, like 100%.
Also, was there anything supposed to be like special about the fucking plate full of fruit you leave out for the birds? Did that mean anything? Was that supposed to, or was that literally just supposed to mean that he cared for birds?
I think it was just
that he was caring. It's
just an extra thing for him to care about. Because he didn't really have anything to care for. Because I think he was
And also, I always found it curious how he had, like, next to his computer, you'd have, like, a drawer full of bad food and a drawer full of good food.
Yeah.
For him.
And then decisions were made.
You should have watched it. I'm just kidding.
Sounds pretty good.
It is pretty good.
I saw the
was great.
The trailer, and I didn't know if I wanted to watch it, but it sounds good.
I didn't know either, but I just knew the director is interesting.
I knew Aronofsky, and Requiem for a Dream is one of my favorite movies. It's incredible.
Also, just the fact that Brendan Fraser chose this movie, I feel like he would only choose a good movie.
Well, see, because it had its premiere at TIFF, and then he had like an 8-minute standing ovation.
Yeah, I was heard about that. I was like, I probably should see this.
Which he definitely deserved because this performance was incredible. In a way that you could see in his early performances he could give, but he just didn't. It seemed like
he just didn't get the roles.
Right, he didn't get the role. Didn't probably get the director. This is a great director working with an actor that really wanted to give a performance like that, and has been through so much. He really channeled that into his performance, I think, and it was incredible.
I mean, obviously, I don't think he's had these type of issues that bad with like weight gain.
Yeah,
but, like I can definitely see him channeling out his own regret.
Right.
And then even she's a good actress. I don't know much about her, but Sadie Sink, because she's the daughter, and she's also one of the better kid actors in Stranger Things.
Yeah,
she's really good in this too.
Yeah, she gives a great performance here.
It's probably my second favorite performance in this
because it felt real. Because it didn't feel cliche. Because
it didn't feel cliche.
Like he invites his daughter over for the first time since he left. And she gets to meet him, and it's not like, oh, they go through this bonding session and she forgives him. No, she's cruel to him, and it makes sense because she's grown bitter because of what happened with that situation. And she didn't realize that I guess there was a deal between him and the mother and that's what they thought. She was like, I raised her, you got the money for her. That was the deal. And then I guess
They probably should have told her that.
Yeah, probably it. But then the way that she acts, it all feels so real. It feels like it actually makes sense. The framing of the movie is fantastic. It really has kind of a claustrophobic feel, which works with the setting. The Liz character is a really strong character because once
caretaker.
Yeah, once we learn more about her situation and how it pertains to Charlie's.
How they reveal who he was dating, or who he left his wife for, was also pretty good.
Yeah, like that.
I didn't really predict that off chance.
That was all natural exposition that was really well handled.
And the brother, he died through suicide, right?
Yeah.
Didn't they say he starved himself?
He was because he was depressed, and then he ended up committing suicide.
In the end, they were kind of the opposites, where he would eat and he wouldn't.
Right.
Yeah.
And then
I forgot some of the brother backstory and why exactly he got sad. What was it?
Well, because it was because he was forced to marry a woman because of the church with his father.
So like the church killed him.
But then he was the student that fell in love with Charlie, who was his professor. So then Charlie left his family to be with him, and then he had to abandon his church, and his family disowned him and all that stuff. And then eventually he got so depressed because of everything that happened with that.
He killed himself.
And then that's what inevitably leads to Charlie's situation, because he was eating so much to cope with it, gained all that weight, didn't take care of himself, didn't care if he was going to die. Like you say, the whole movie, his whole thing is that he doesn't do hospitals, and that's just how that goes. A lot of those interactions were incredible. I really enjoyed that. The sound design, I mean, there wasn't really a score. That also was really minimalist about this movie, but the sound design was really well done. I really enjoyed it. And then the last thing that I really enjoyed was that essay that he kept.
About Rumpy Dick.
Yeah, that really important essay. Like the first scene, he comes in and he asked the missionary.
Oh, it's really good foreshadowing. I just realized how he likes it being read to him when he thought he was going to die.
Right, because he said he thought he wanted to hear it one more time because he thought he was dying, and then it's revealed at the end that was his daughter's essay that was sent to him, and how the essay ties into their relationship in the end as well.
How was it tied in? I forgot exactly.
Well, because it's about
hiding something.
Well, because her essay is about how the author, the story is just a manifestation of him trying to cope with his own depression, and how that has to apply with her relationship with him, and how that could also be applied to his life because of the decisions that he made.
And it's also about a whale.
And it's about a whale.
What the title is.
Yeah, and then that's where the title really comes from, and then it also just ties in with how he's a big guy and all that. So, which it's all really good. It's so well structured. It was really enjoyable. Incredible performances. There's really not much wrong with it. There's a couple things that I wish would have been a little bit different, as far as musical choices and.
The ending was good, but part of it felt a little bit abrupt.
Yeah, the ending was just a little. It was just kind of. It definitely wasn't perfect.
Because I'm assuming when he was being lifted in the air, that was just in his head.
Yeah.
Or it went to white or whatever.
I assume that when he finally stood up to walk, that was also just. I think he was just dying. I assume. See, it's kind of open ended, which I know is the point, but it's also
Definitely died.
Yeah. And there's a couple other there's a couple character things that I would have changed, so they're not flawless by any means, but overall there just really wasn't much wrong with it, and I know most people that watch it probably wouldn't like this movie, but I just think it was so well done and so well handled in a lot of ways, so it's probably my second favorite movie of the whole year, I would say.
I think it was my second as well. I think I still have everything all at once at first.
Yeah. Me as well.
Yeah, I don't know why. It's just I think I probably just enjoy that movie a bit more. Yeah, it only has a 66 from critics, which is it has a 90 from audiences. Audiences actually like it more than critics, which is not what I thought would happen.
Which is surprising with movies that I typically like more usually.
But Puss in Boots.
Haven't seen Puss in Boots: The Last Wish, but everybody keeps talking about how amazing it is. So I don't know, man.
Well, Megan still has a 95.
93 from audiences.
94% from 90.
Wow.
Holy shit!
Wow.
No way.
I mean, I might check it out. I don't know. I don't know if I really want to see it, but.
Is this a movie?
But The Whale is incredible, and I do think Brendan Fraser deserved that ovation that he got. So
that one scene where he's like saying he needs to know that he did one right thing with his life was.
yeah, I need to know that I did one thing right.
It's been kind of.
I have seen that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's been kind of over TikTok.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I didn't know that, but that makes sense though.
All the sad edits.
I also really like the moment that I think it was the last scene he shared with that kid, because like that kid comes in and is like.
Also, that scene where he sees the pizza guy. Like they had a little relationship kind of throughout the movie where every time he get like.
I was gonna say Dan's my favorite character.
He got like what? He got like pizzas every night.
Yeah, because he always ordered pizza, and that guy was like, "Hey, I've been coming here a while, just because he never saw him or whatever, and he always just left the money." So then that time he waited to look at him, and then once he saw him, he left, and that drove him down another downward spiral.
That scene where he gorges himself was really hard to watch.
Yeah,
I was not hungry for a while.
Yeah, it was hard to order a pizza after, which I did do.
You did?
No, I was with you.
I thought you might have when you got home.
But yeah, and then that last scene with that kid when because the kid basically makes it seem like the fact that he and Charlie were together was what eventually led to his death, and then he just like basically kind of intimidating him, but then rolling toward him, and he's like I'm disgusting, just call me disgusting, and then he does it, then he stops, and it's just a really well done. He gave an incredible performance. No, but I loved this movie. I'm gonna give it a 9 out of 10. I think it was really good.
Yeah, I'd give it the same.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know what else to really say about it. I don't know how much I'll rewatch it. I'd like a steelbook.
Yeah, I would love
I
that.
don't know what it would be though. Besides a pizza box with a whale on it.
Garbino's Pizza or whatever it was. Gambino's.
God, it's just I could not imagine
Just
being
the
that
token
weight.
from.
I could not imagine being that weight. And seeing him like try to walking around his house, just like living, even showering is just like God. If you have to start like using like a long brush to just like bathe yourself, I think you need to understand you need to like go to the gym or something.
He couldn't even like pick anything up. Like he dropped that key. And he needed that
I'd have
guy's
the
help.
kid do it. You know, he couldn't. When he choked, that scene was fucking something.
Oh yeah, that was pretty brutal.
Something I never get about like caretakers of overweight people is like I know she knew that like there was no like stopping him from what he was doing, but it's just like she kept like giving him stuff like these big like meaty sandwiches and like the stuff that obviously wasn't good for him. I just never get why caretakers will just like give them bad food, like just give him a salad or something and just tell him you're not getting anything else.
Yeah, she kind of has that moment later on when she's like giving him the sandwiches again, and then she's just like I don't know why I'm doing this, and it's just like
it just seems like, you know, if it's what they want.
Yeah,
but I just feel like I think I'd want to like motivate them to try, but I'm guessing once you get to 600 pounds, it's just really hard to get back. Because they kept saying that, I was like, you just need to go to the hospital. I was like, no, that's gonna be a lot more than just surgery.
Yeah, and
he's not gonna be on the same.
There's an ambulance I'll take you to the hospital. It's like, you might even fit in an ambulance. Like, that was also kind of funny when she was like, she said something like, I will stab you, and he was like,
it's fine.
Go ahead. My internal organs got to be at least 2 feet in. I'll be fine. But yeah, I really enjoyed it. Really good. Not my favorite movie of the year though, which I guess we can just talk about. Some of the best and worst of 2022. Everything Everywhere All at Once. I rewatched it a couple weeks ago. Maybe that was last week. I don't know. But I rewatched it because I initially gave it a 9, and I wasn't sure if I'd give it a 10. But then once I did watch it again, and it's just so powerful, and it's so emotional in a way that I bumped it up to a 10. I gave it a 10. I haven't given a movie a 10 since The Lighthouse in 2019, so... but it brings me so much joy and makes me feel so many emotions all at once. And it's such a well done movie. It's easily my favorite of the year. I hope it gets some award buzz so people can like find out about it and watch it more so in the mainstream. That would be great. Yeah, I think wasn't that also at least your highest rated movie of the year?
Everything at Once. I'm looking right now. Yeah, it was. I think a 4.5.
Yeah.
Yeah. Somebody new phone.
Yeah, absolutely fantastic.
All at once.
It's probably my favorite. I mean, I'd say
Yeah, I gave it a 4.5.
looking at like just like overall like favorite, probably the Batman. Like it just is purely like which one I would revisit because I loved the Batman. It's the exact movie that I've been waiting for a long time. As we talked about when we're looking ahead to 2022, I said it was one of my most hyped releases, and then when it came out and we talked about it, yeah,
I love the Batman.
I loved it so much. It's the movie I watched the most in 2022 according to Letterboxd. Apparently, I watched it 4 times, which I believe is correct. Yeah, which is a 3-hour movie, so watching it 4 times is pretty impressive. Obviously, it wasn't perfect and it has issues, but I loved it. I thought it was incredible.
Definitely the best superhero movie
For sure, yeah.
this year.
For sure.
Compared to Marvel.
Marvel
Sucked this year.
MCU sucked this year. Look, Multiverse of Madness, I've been very
Mixed.
because I was so excited about it. I've been defensive of it, but like
It's not good.
it's so mid.
Underwhelming.
Like it's not bad, but it's
You saw it?
very underwhelming.
Yeah, I saw it after a while. That one, my mom wanted to watch it. I wasn't like.
It's like if a mixed bag were a movie.
Yeah.
They had all the right ingredients.
Yeah.
They should have kept the original director on because he wanted to do a horror movie
Yeah.
That would have
with
been
Nightmare.
so much
Wasn't it Scott
better.
Derrickson? Yeah.
Then he did Black Phone, which was
Yeah.
better.
Yeah.
Actually, I have the Black Phone. It's in my top 10, even though I only saw 20 movies. So
Yeah, I mean that's something.
I really liked Prey. That was a good standout. That really
Prey was
surprised
good.
me. I didn't expect it to be as good.
Prey was good. I enjoyed
Nope as
Prey.
well. I was not excited.
Nope was really good. Here, let me look at my list. Nope was one of my favorites.
I liked The Northman a lot too. Northman was really good.
The Northman was great. Robert Eggers is fantastic. I hope he keeps going. With what he's
I
been
really
doing.
liked. I guess I didn't. I really enjoyed the new Scream.
Yeah.
At least compared to the horror stuff we got this year.
I know a lot of people disagree, but I liked Men. I liked it quite a bit.
I gave it a 2.5.
Men, Nope, Bodies, Bodies, Bodies were all really good horror movies. And Nope's kind of a horror movie. I don't know. But like it's in that same vein, so
There's only like a few scenes in Nope that scare me.
yeah. And then the new Hellraiser I really enjoyed too. So those were like the standouts
That's
for
why
horror
I
this
was surprised
year.
Hellraiser and Prey were like actually really good movies, and they just dumped them on Hulu.
I know they were just Hulu movies.
Like,
and
I would've
and
paid to
they
see
were
these.
they were better than almost every horror movie I saw in the theater this year. So
Yeah.
one of my favorite streaming release. Well, my favorite streaming release.
Marmaduke?
Shut up. I guess probably Pinocchio. Guillermo del Toro's Pinocchio. It's funny because we had 2 Pinocchios this year, which is a fun topic of discussion. Guillermo del Toro's Pinocchio was great. It's a beautiful, really, it's how you should adapt Pinocchio into a film. Absolutely, 100%. Looks incredible. And then there's Disney's, which was awful. A 1 out of 10. That's all I'm going to
Did
say
they not
about
even
that.
have the whale in it?
What?
Wasn't the whale not even in the Disney one? The new one?
No, it wasn't.
Then what was the plot?
A crappy, horrible movie is what it was.
Because Tom Hanks was in it. Yeah.
Tom Hanks was like, "Yeah, I'll do this." Another one of my favorite streaming releases was Weird: The Al Yankovic Story. I assume you haven't seen that.
No.
Yeah,
It looks good though.
it's on Roku. Is it
for
Roku
some
too?
reason.
Yeah. It's really funny. It's actually really enjoyable. It's one of the best biopics there is because it's just a parody of Weird Al's actual career. So that's the perfect type of thing that should exist.
Barbarian was a pretty solid.
I liked Barbarian.
I didn't love it. People really hyped
Yeah.
it up.
Definitely didn't love it, but I enjoyed it. We had a new Pixar movie, Turning Red, and Lightyear.
So Lightyear was not that good from what I heard.
Lightyear kind of sucked. Turning Red was pretty charming. I enjoyed it.
Halloween Ends. I
Halloween
gave it 2 out of
Ends.
5.
Halloween Ends.
It's complicated.
It's
It's complicated.
It kind of sucks.
Yeah. There's so many things I like that they try, but then they just don't.
But then they just
don't
fail
deliver.
in execution. It's
Just
just
don't deliver. Such a bummer to end it on.
yeah.
Especially if Kills already started to be a bummer.
Right, that was the thing because
2018 was
Kills
so
was
good.
really
2018 was so good.
2018 was promising and Kills was really riding on how Ends was going to be. Then Ends sucked. So,
Hopefully the next time they reboot this thing, it's good. but I honestly don't know what to do anymore.
Yeah, at least it wasn't the worst horror movie of this year or this past year, I guess.
Texas Chainsaw Massacre, the new one, was really bad.
That was horrible.
It was funny to talk about.
It was awful.
I guess I.
Did you watch that?
The new
Texas Chainsaw Massacre?
I heard it was really bad.
Dude.
I mean, it's kind of. There's one good scene. There's one good scene. And that's the bus scene.
The bus scene is good.
The bus scene.
That's the reason I gave it a 2 instead of a 1. Just the bus scene.
That's the only reason it's a 1 out of 5.
The only reason I didn't give it a 1 out of 10. I didn't like Smile. Smile was very.
It was fine, I guess.
What else is there?
I feel like the Smile concept was better than Barbarian, but then the better movie was Barbarian.
Yeah, I would agree with that.
Well, that Smile had a really cool concept, and the trailers were terrible. Avatar was like middle.
Avatar are gonna end up being the biggest movie for sure, but very very mid. We talked about that a couple weeks ago. I gotta say, They/Them
Didn't see that.
was the worst horror movie of the year probably. That was pretty awful.
Did not see Dominion.
Really bad. Jurassic World Dominion was really bad.
The more I've moved away from the movie, the worse it's gotten.
It's so like I watched that movie and was just like upset.
Recently?
No, like when we saw it.
Yeah,
I don't ever want to watch that again. No, I don't want to waste my time with that. The extended code with like an extra 5 minutes. No, I would never do that.
It's 15 more minutes.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
It's
now
Make it like
it's now
2
3.
hours.
I think it's now 3 hours long.
Jeez, man. No, Dominion was terrible. I also saw some other crappy movies like The Invitation, Firestarter, Uncharted was really bad.
Morbius?
Hotel Transylvania, Transformania. Morbius is a big standout of the year just because of how bad it was. But that was like the whole meme, so that kind of got played to death about how bad it was. Everybody knows that Morbius sucks. That's just...
Thor Love and Thunder was bad.
Thor Love and Thunder, I'd give some credit, but it's just...
Bad.
Like, I just...
absolutely butchered the gore.
I almost walked out of the theater. Like,
Did you really?
Yeah.
When they did that rock thing, I like that.
Dude.
The little, like, smiling rock.
Dumpling.
They had a dumpling with cartoon eyes in the real world.
What?
Yeah.
It was considered a god.
And Zeus was probably my least favorite character.
And
How are you going to put Zeus in the MCU when he's going to be horrible?
I'd seen 5 seconds of Zeus and he looks like a Nimrod.
It was awful.
Thor kills him.
Yo, that's it. You're not invited to orgy. He said orgy 3 times. Zeus. Like, what?
And then in the end credits scene, there's like, Hercules coming next.
Yeah, they set up Hercules.
And they kill Gore in one movie.
Yeah.
We want to play God of War.
And Gore was the only good part of that movie, so...
And he was butchered. Literally.
He was the God Butcher.
Was there another Marvel movie? Besides...
let's see, there was Multiverse of Madness, Love and Thunder,
Oh, Black Panther. I didn't see it.
Black Panther, Wakanda Forever. Very middle of the road.
I heard it's the best, though, this year for Marvel.
I'd put it on par with Multiverse of Madness.
Really?
Because there were things I enjoyed about Multiverse of Madness. It's around like a 5 or a 6, and so is Wakanda Forever. It's around a 5 or a 6. A lot of Netflix movies, The Gray Man, The Atom Project. I saw both of those.
Forgot about Bullet Train, which was good.
Bullet Train was good. I really
It's
enjoyed
on
it.
Netflix right now. I'm seeing a lot of
It's
memes.
not-
It's getting popular.
Yeah, it's nothing great, but like it's funny. Like it's just it's
Like, if they made a sequel, I'd watch it because how much I enjoyed this.
Yeah.
So.
it's just a dumb fun movie. Plus, I'll always watch it if Brad Pitt's in
People,
it.
people were
Love
saying
Brad
they
Pitt.
want the brothers, the Lemon and Tangerine, to have their own like movie.
That would probably work if they had the right script. It would probably work. They're pretty funny.
Even though he's James Bond.
There were a couple prequels this year. I mean, Orphan First Kill.
You had those two movies. What was it, X and Pearl?
Oh yeah, X, and then this prequel came out, Pearl, and next year we're getting Maxine with 3 X's, which is the 3rd film in the franchise. So
Even
he's
though Pearl had no X in it.
yeah, weird. But both of those were pretty solid. I mean, I gave X a 5 and I gave Pearl a 6. So, I definitely enjoyed them. Violent Night came out.
A lot of people seem to enjoy it.
Yeah. Fantastic Beasts: Secrets of Dumbledore was extremely boring. Oh my god.
I don't think they're continuing that. So
I really hope not. We had the Bob's Burgers movie.
Rand's most hyped film.
Which was just a long episode of Bob's Burgers, so a solid 5 out of 10.
Oh.
The Fablemans came out, and it's extremely overrated, and I know it's going to get a ton of Oscar buzz. And
This has like a 4.4 average.
probably going to win Best Picture and all that stuff, even though I really just don't think it's that good. And I gave it a 5. It's very cute. Very cute movie. The Menu. You didn't see The Menu either, did you?
I kind of want to. I heard it was pretty good.
Yeah, I enjoyed it. I mean, it wasn't incredible or anything, but I definitely enjoyed it.
Yeah, I heard it was pretty good.
We got a sequel to Knives Out and Glass Onion, which is the one that everybody's been talking about recently. It's been huge on Letterboxd. Because everybody on Letterboxd likes Knives Out. Like 745,000 members already. Another 6 out of 10. You can just go to my Letterboxd and see the whole list if you'd like. I saw 94 movies released in 2022, so... The worst was Marmaduke on Netflix, starring Pete Davidson. By far. Absolutely horrible. Like, seriously. Like, Sean. Like, it was really, really bad. Don't ever watch that. Like, like, it's pretty much as bad as it gets. Like, I'm not kidding. And also, Netflix also had my second least favorite film of the year, which was The Bubble, Judd Apatow's movie.
Yeah, God, I heard that was terrible.
Yeah, it was really bad.
I saw a bunch of advertisement for it, because, like, how they advertised it was as, like, a completely different movie. And then, like, last, like, month, they, like, oh, actually, it was this movie the whole time. And that was, like, part of the joke of the movie. But then it was just terrible, so I was like, why'd you do that?
I found a good review. Top 10 reasons to watch this. Number 1, Pedro Pascal. Number 2, Pedro Pascal. Number 3, Pedro Pascal. Number 4, Pedro Pascal. Number 5, Pedro Pascal. Number 6, Pedro Pascal. Number 7, Pedro Pascal. Number 8, Pedro Pascal. Number 9, Pedro Pascal. And number 10, Keegan-Michael Key. Really hated it. I really hated it. It's just, every scene felt like torture. Such a bad movie. Some people were like, yeah, it has some merit to it. And I was like, no, there's literally nothing enjoyable throughout the entire runtime of The Bubble. Absolutely hate it. Not as bad as Marmaduke.
Such a dumb fucking name, too. The Bubble. What do you mean?
Because it's like the bubble of where they filmed the movie during COVID.
Oh, yeah, it's all about the lockdown, isn't it? Kinda. I like they filmed it during lockdown.
There were also movies like Blonde, which was that Marilyn Monroe.
It sounded promising.
Yeah, it was just.
Wasn't there a whole scene about like
disturbing.
her fetus talking to her?
Yeah.
Like what?
Really disturbing.
Most anti-abortion
not
thing
in
I've
a
heard.
good way. Just way too. Just no, it's really bad. DC League of Super Pets was a big surprise. Just kidding. It was exactly what I expected. It sucked. Weird sequels to movies that are 15 plus years old. Disenchanted, which was a sequel to Enchanted. Hocus Pocus 2, which randomly happened. I heard about it a while ago, but the fact that it released is just like kind of weird.
On Disney Plus.
Yeah. I don't know. A Christmas Story Christmas.
I heard somebody like love that movie.
It's enjoyable. I could see why people would like it. It's very nostalgia driven.
It's just not good, really.
There are worse things out there. Beavis and Butthead Do the Universe, which Beavis and Butthead Do America was like 30 years ago. So that's kind of crazy that came out as well. Wow. A good amount of stop motion, which is really nice. Obviously, we talked about Pinocchio, but The House on Netflix, that was an actual good Netflix movie. Wendell and Wild, which was also on Netflix, which I thought was solid. What else is there? And then I guess, since my main thing is horror, I guess we can, because there's also Terrifier 2, which we didn't talk about that, did we? Because you didn't see it.
No, it's like 2.5 hours. When it came out, I did not have time to watch that.
Yeah, no, it's
Has Sean seen the first one? Have you seen the first Terrifier?
The first one, yeah, a long time.
It's like
ago.
an hour and a half.
Like a long time ago.
Yeah, imagine an hour plus.
I remember nothing about it. I remember the clown.
Do you remember the vagina kill?
the saw through the...
Down the vagina.
Back so many memories.
Are they good or bad?
Both.
Bad.
Did you watch that with your parents?
Who'd want to remember that movie?
No, I watched it by myself.
So those are the movies you watched.
Villain looked interesting.
For what it's worth, Terrifier 2 is a lot better than Terrifier 1. So I gave it a 4
actual
out of 10.
story.
Yeah, but it's also, the whole point of the movie is just to be gory the whole time. That's the whole point. And there's barely a plot. Like, there is a story, but there's barely a plot. It's very thin. And it's just kind of, like, it's not, like, it's basically just torture porn, honestly.
Which is fine.
Which is...
I love both those things
I'm excited.
as separate and together.
I'm excited for Saw 10, yes.
Are you?
Yeah. You always get excited for a Saw movie, no matter what it is. No matter what.
Tell it to Sean.
Sean? I saw 10. You going?
Not Spiral 2?
No.
Or Jigsaw 3.
They're just going to pretend that never happened. They're going to say 10, like it was the 9th one, but they're going to pretend that Spiral never happened because... And, like, I don't blame them. I enjoyed Spiral, but I can acknowledge that it was not very good.
You didn't like the tongue?
That was pretty creative. There are worse things than Spiral.
Alright, so, here, this is what one YouTuber does that I like. So, what was your most disappointing film of the year, and what was your most surprising?
Well, the most disappointing... There weren't any huge disappointments this year, but I guess Thor: Love and Thunder probably, just because I thought it would be at least a bit more entertaining than it was, and it was not entertaining at all. Like, at all. That one, or I guess Multiverse of Madness, because I really was hoping to really love that movie, and I didn't.
I feel like my two biggest disappointments are Halloween Ends
Yeah, Halloween Ends.
and Jurassic World Dominion.
Well, I didn't really have high expectations for Halloween Ends.
Jurassic World Dominion I didn't have super high, but I was hoping it would be good.
I had really
Because they brought back the original cast, they had this whole really good plot set up.
Yeah, I had really low expectations for Dominion.
But Halloween Ends, I was really just hoping for something good to finally like end the story.
Yeah.
Thor: Love and Thunder though was
based on hope. That would be the biggest disappointment for
Thor:
sure.
Love and Thunder was also a really big one because like it honestly didn't start out too bad. Then like just the further I got along with it, I was like, oh my god.
Yeah. It's just like great.
The best scene was ironically the last. Well, no, one of the good scenes was one of the last ones because it's like, oh, he has a daughter now. That could be like an actual interesting story. It's just like, oh, we're done.
And it's the end of the movie.
And it's just like, oh, his girlfriend died. Add that to the list.
And then it said like Thor will return, and then he was like, oh, really? I will.
He's like, actually, they added that literally the night of.
He's like, I didn't even know that. But the most surprising, in a good way.
This isn't like my most surprising one, but I'm actually surprised that it was good. Was the new Scream?
Yeah.
I was very scared for that movie.
I guess Nope for me, because I was like, it's gonna.
I would say Prey, honestly. After the Predator, that was such a step up.
Prey was pretty good, especially considering the way the franchise was headed. Like it had some pretty.
Also, I thought The Northman was kind of a surprise because I've never had experience with that director, and it was actually pretty good.
Oh yeah, The Northman's great.
I don't love it, but it was really good.
It's just not even. It's probably his like. I think it's his second best film after The Lighthouse. The Lighthouse is incredible. But Nope, I didn't really have high hopes for. I was just like, okay, it's gonna release whatever. But it was actually pretty good. And I was pretty impressed with it. So.
Are you talking about which movie?
Nope.
Yeah, Nope surprised me too, but I always kind of thought it was gonna be like good. I was just worried because Us was not that good.
Yeah, I was worried it was gonna be like another Us.
But like he was just really gonna try to step away from like just giving us a good movie because he just wanted to be different. I was scared he was gonna do that.
But yeah, Nope was really impressive in a lot of ways. I really enjoyed that. And then I guess Everything Everywhere All at Once. I didn't know anything about it until it released. Like I hadn't heard about it at all. And then it did release, and I watched it. And it was absolutely amazing. So that was really nice.
I wish I could have saw more movies, but there also wasn't. This year was kind of weird.
Yeah.
There wasn't anything that particularly excited me most months, and things that did were really bad. And it's like, oh, Halloween, this couldn't be bad. Oh my god,
this can't be bad. Oh,
it's better than Rob Zombie. You saw The Monsters too, wasn't that bad?
Oh yeah, that sucked.
And not like that was disappointing. It's a Monsters Rob Zombie movie.
Yeah, I had not high hopes for that. That was the
one. Actually, Allie's sister was playing that because she was like, "Guys, there's a new Rob Zombie movie on Netflix." Because she's like really into big Rob Zombie and Adam Sandler. You'll love her. And then she was like playing it. She's like, "I'm a Rob Zombie fan, and I don't even really like this. Like, I get this for kids." And I was like, "That's actually really smart. Good job."
Yeah, it's bad.
Is it in color or black and white?
It's in color.
Oh my god, that's so much worse. The whole point of the Monsters is like a black and white thing. Do they like curse in it, or is it like a literally PG?
It's PG.
Okay. Rob Zombie's fan base likes one thing about him: he makes gory,
obscene,
fucked up movies. So what does he do after like Halloween and like 31 and all that? Fucking monsters. God, his last movie was what, 3 from Hell? Wasn't that also terrible?
3 from Hell sucked. Yeah, it was pretty bad.
It was like the last performance of like a really acclaimed actor.
I know, yeah.
And it was like he was barely in it. It was like
he was only in that one scene, and then they had to pick somebody else to replace him because he was part of the 3. So they had to add some new character no one's ever heard of from the other 2 movies. The Devil's Rejects was like a fine movie that he made. But they also got shot and killed at the end of that one. And then like 10 years later, he was like, "Oh, let's make a sequel. Let's just make it so they didn't die. Let's just do that." But then one of them had to die anyway because he, was dying in real life. Said, "Hey, I just don't like Rob Zombie at all." Oh man.
Yeah, I'm hoping this year's better. I guess Megan's really good, so that's a good hope.
Yeah,
That's a good way to start it off. Usually January's terrible, so
right. Yeah, I guess we could do.
We can talk a little bit about some stuff we're excited for.
Yeah.
Not too much though, probably.
Yeah.
I'm not like super stoked for much. I'm just like
I'm
hope.
pretty fairly excited for a couple. Across the Spider-Verse, we talked about that last year, and then I got pushed back. But I'm very excited for that. I'm very excited for Oppenheimer.
That
Very.
the stack alone, the cast alone.
Yeah, I'm really excited for Ari Aster's new movie. It was called Disappointment Boulevard. I guess not anymore. I don't know what's up with that.
I guess the name just like really attributes to too much of society. So
Yeah. So.
I think there's a new Alien TV show coming out on Hulu. Also, Rick and Morty's coming back probably.
Yeah, they're likely to be more Rick and Morty, I assume.
Which I did finish that. We didn't talk about the finale. I don't think. Did we last week?
I don't think so.
It was good.
I mean, what are your overall thoughts on the finale, I guess?
It was a big tease.
Yeah.
It was good, though. Not as good as season 5. Obviously. I'm just not as into Rick and Morty as I used to be. But I'm still, like, engaged enough.
Yeah, I'm going to keep watching it. I really love it. It's not the best show out there, but I just enjoy it.
I guess I've just seen a lot of better shows since, so...
Yeah. That's true.
Once you finish Breaking Bad, we'll have a Breaking Bad episode.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah.
I will say my most hyped film of the year is probably Magic Mike's Last Dance.
Yeah, it's coming out, isn't it?
Thank God that's releasing. Thankfully. Oh, Cocaine
Sean's
Bear.
giving you a look.
Cocaine Bear. Just where was that?
Cocaine Bear.
Sean's
That
most
is a movie I'm
excited.
excited for.
We'll have to go, Sean. We'll definitely have to go.
It's in February.
It is in February.
Soon. Also, Ant-Man 3. I'm
Ant-Man
fairly
3,
excited
Creed
for.
3, 65, Shazam 2.
63 looks good. Did you hear about that movie, Sean?
63.
Looks like it could be good.
I'll have to
Good.
look into that.
John Wick Chapter 4.
Yeah, that's coming out.
Dungeons and Dragons movie, which I will not be seeing. The Super Mario Bros. Movie.
It's like April, isn't it?
Yep. Which I'm definitely going opening night. And whether or not it's good, I'm still excited to see it. That's just how it goes. The hippopotamus. Renfield with Nick Cage as Dracula. Oh, Evil Dead Rise. We just got a trailer for that.
Yeah, it looks good.
Really excited for Evil Dead Rise. Big Evil Dead fan. So
The fact that it was originally streaming, it was going to be streaming, but then it got changed to theaters. I think that shows that.
Yeah, I guess it got really good
They
response.
believe it.
Yeah. Guardians 3 is probably going to be good. The first two
Definitely
don't
most
count
is-
at all, so.
Excited Marvel thing.
Yeah.
Because I guess Captain Marvel 2 is coming out next year, and I honestly forgot.
It is?
Yeah.
They're making that?
I'm not going to see it in theaters.
They're
Yeah,
making that?
yeah. It's done. Apparently, it might part of it be a musical.
What?
Yeah. If that happens,
Why does it exist at all?
if for some reason I end up in theaters watching that and that happens, I'm walking out.
You excited for Fast X?
I guess they had their first image release today where it's literally just Vin Diesel again. And it's just like the same look he's had
So then
for like 6
they didn't
movies.
add anything then.
The trailer's coming soon, so it's like actually happening. So it's kind of hitting me that like they're actually doing this.
There's in the same year a new Transformers comes out too. When was the last night? Wasn't that like
2017. But also there was Bumblebee in 2018.
okay, yeah, so like 5 years since
Yeah.
the Transformers movie. Indiana Jones: The Dial of Destiny. I'll see it. Don't think it's gonna be good though. Apparently, everyone's really excited for the new Mission Impossible.
Everybody loves Mission Impossible now, yeah.
Yeah, Dead Reckoning Part 1.
Because the last few apparently have been really good. I haven't seen any of them.
They're good
so.
action movies, yeah. I guess we'll see. I'll probably go see Dead Reckoning, I guess.
Since I guess the 7th and the 8th one were like kind of filmed back to back or something.
Yeah.
Or like they're supposed to be a part 1 and part 2.
Yeah, Dead Reckoning.
So I'm guessing this is like Tom Cruise's last few times doing this. So I'm very curious on what his final big stunt's gonna be.
Yeah.
He wants to go to space.
Apparently he did the largest stunt in history. Now he wants to do something bigger or whatever.
He's gonna film a movie in space. I know they're talking about not Mission Impossible, something else. Like I guess they made an actual deal to like shoot some stuff in space.
We'll see how that goes for old.
He's probably gonna die.
Tom Cruise. Yeah.
He has to. After he doesn't like Top Gun 4.
He would use real dinosaurs.
He would. He doesn't. Has he ever had a stunt performer?
Oh, the Meg 2 comes out this year.
They did film that. They finished filming, I think. And I'm not excited for it.
I'm excited for Blue Beetle just because I've always liked that character. So I guess it'll happen.
I'm confused if that's part of the old DC stuff.
Yeah, no idea.
Because Shazam 2 and Aquaman 2 come out. But those characters don't matter anymore. Because DC's rebooting again. They're just already finished, so.
Kraven the Hunter.
Oh my god.
Oh, Dune Part 2. I'm really excited for that.
Did you ever watch the new Dune?
I did watch the new Dune.
You did?
You like it?
Yeah, I did. I thought that was pretty good.
Was it Part 2?
I really liked it. Yeah, Part 2's coming out
I actually
soon.
made it past one movie this time.
Well, yeah, last time.
It didn't really end well.
They're also making a new Exorcist movie this year. And a new Hunger Games movie.
What'd you say?
A new Exorcist movie and a new Hunger Games movie are coming out this year,
Yeah,
supposedly.
but The Exorcist is made by, by who?
No.
David Gordon Green.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
He's supposedly getting his own Exorcist trilogy.
That's right, yeah.
Right after all this Halloween stuff.
Right after his Halloween trilogy, which
Where
was
it just went downhill.
So great.
I haven't seen Exorcist. I've seen like half of it. I didn't finish it. But is there really a sequel needed to The Exorcist? Because like they end the exorcism.
No, there's not. Ever.
Like at least with Michael Myers, it's like a shape.
Ooh, Asteroid City might come out this year. That's the new Wes Anderson movie.
I'm pretty sure it was confirmed too.
Really?
I thought it's been filmed like for a year now. I think.
Yeah, it's
been done for a while.
Which I love Wes Anderson. Anything he makes, I will immediately
What's it about?
flock to see. I don't know any details about it.
Assuming it's about an apocalypse of some sort.
Probably.
Has he done something like that? Isn't that thing was that every movie does like something different? You do like a stop motion, then you do like a drama, then you do like a musical. It's like
very, very diverse director. Yes, and his worst movie, I'd give a 7 out of 10. So he's really good.
Yeah.
That was his first movie too. So he also loves the Wilson brothers, Owen and Luke Wilson. Owen Wilson's great. I love Owen Wilson.
The Zoolander memes have been pretty funny. That's coming out this year. I'm actually excited for that. So I don't know if you ever watched Loki, Sean.
Loki?
Yeah. It's probably a good thing you didn't, because you were with Jasmine then, and you would have hated it. Because they introduced a female character in that, like it's female Loki, and all the cringe girls love her.
Sylvie.
Yeah, Sylvie. She was female Loki in the comics, but they just like changed her name.
Okay.
There was a crocodile Loki.
Yeah.
I hope he comes back.
There's also Throg.
Throg was in it, for like a second, but
He was there. Old Loki, Kid Loki who killed Thor.
I believe there's some Marvel animated stuff coming out this year. I don't know.
Supposedly.
I don't really care though.
I don't know for sure. But supposedly.
And Star Wars, I don't even fucking care anymore.
Yeah, I don't care what's gonna happen with Star Wars.
I watched Mandalorian season 3 just because I've seen the first 2 seasons, but I honestly don't care. Unless the trailers make it look great, I don't know if they will though. Because he just has Grogu again now. Because did you watch Book of Boba Fett? Because by God, it was so bad.
I watched like the first 2 episodes and stopped watching.
There was like maybe 2 good episodes in that whole show, and one of them was the second episode, I think, and the last episode.
The very last episode.
The only good episodes is because there was, dude,
the
randomly in the middle of this, in the middle of the season, they bring back the Mandalorian like from the show.
Yeah.
And then they just have a side plot with him for 2 whole episodes. You do not see Boba Fett for 2 whole episodes of that show. It's an 8-episode show.
It's the Book of Boba Fett.
Yes. 2 whole episodes are just the Mandalorian again. And at the end of that, he just gets Grogu again, so just defeats the end of Season 2 of Mandalorian. Because at the beginning of Season 3 of Mandalorian, he's just going to be back with him again.
And he has a new ship already.
They built up a villain and then killed him the next episode.
Yes.
That pissed me off because I liked
Oh,
that
Cad Bane?
character.
Yeah, they brought Cad
I
Bane
liked
all the
that
way from Clone
character.
Wars and they killed him.
Oh, they introduced Cad Bane?
They brought him back in live
Fucking
action.
Killed him in one episode.
I love Cad Bane. What?
He
why
showed up
would
at
they-
the end
I
of...
hated it. What they did. He got stabbed to death.
What?
No,
Why?
I thought he got shot and then stabbed or
He
something.
did get shot.
Which he might still be alive. But then why are you teasing his death like
The
that?
only thing they did right was him out shooting Boba Fett, but it wasn't worth it because he
Boba Fett's like
spun.
60 in the... No, he's
Yeah.
like... Yeah, it's like
Or no, that spin was
he
somebody.
was in a Sarlacc, but he should be dead. Sorry. If you're gonna bring back Boba Fett and give us a shitty show.
Boba
A
Fett
lot
was better in
of...
the
What else was it? Because Obi-Wan
Yeah, he
came
was
out.
awesome in the Mandalorian.
Obi-Wan Kenobi came out, and that also wasn't
Oh
very
my
good.
god. Me and Sean
It was-
watched that.
it
There
was-
was good parts.
I liked Darth Vader's scenes. That was really it. River ruined it for me. Not that
Reva
it
was
just-
terrible.
It was just give her her own show and let Kenobi and Vader exist together.
If you're gonna give me a 6-episode show and you're gonna call it Obi-Wan Kenobi, you cannot have filler.
Exactly.
And you have filler.
That's my thing
Breaking Bad doesn't have filler.
That's oh yeah.
It's like-
yeah. That's my thing with all of the Star Wars shows. There's filler and like there's like 4 episodes. It's like, oh, this is a new 3-episode miniseries, but the first 2 episodes are all filler, and half of the third
The
episode.
Kenobi movie was originally supposed to be... The Kenobi show was supposed to be a movie originally, and I could see how much better it would have been.
Oh, so what a word.
And a nice, like, 2-hour-ish movie.
What a
kind of a
word.
swan
Those
song.
were so
A
weird.
good swan song to this prequel era.
Yeah.
And it's just like, oh, let's make this a 6-episode show where we just, like, introduce a bunch of stuff.
And it just sucks.
The Reva character was dumb. Having Leia and Luke so heavily involved was
That
unnecessary.
Leia chase scene was possibly
The Leia chase scenes were terrible. The action was terrible. Like the final fight scene was like the best part, and it was okay. It was really dark for some reason. They were just on a rocky planet. It was nothing interesting. Tatooine. I'm so tired of deserts. Like Dune. I like deserts in Dune.
Yeah,
No.
the new Dune did well.
I don't like it in Star Wars anymore.
Star Wars has just been all strikeouts since Last Jedi, honestly. I mean, like, come on.
Solo was like entertaining-ish, but it was so unnecessary. Like Solo and Obi-Wan are like just so unnecessary.
Yeah, I mean, I can appreciate Solo, but it's also just like...
I would have appreciated it more if they just gave like the directors of Into the Spider-Verse more control. I don't know if that's a little controversial to say.
Oh, really?
Yeah. I guess they really missed the ball there. And like I guess they're making new Star Wars movies and it's just like what
Why?
about exactly?
Yeah, what are they going to do? Are they going to do another trilogy?
Ray's
Yeah.
It better not be about Ray. Ray sucks.
Ray.
I'm pretty sure the next Star Wars movie is going to take place after the sequel era, but it's like completely new stuff.
I
So
just wish they did more with Kylo Ren.
Kylo Ren was a really cool character. Adam Driver is
Kylo Ren would have been great. And
I don't know if you
Ren's
saw
a great
Marriage
actor.
Story, but Adam Driver is an amazing actor.
I've been meaning to watch Marriage Story. I heard he was amazing.
He's amazing in that.
I've really that's what on like top of my watch list. I'm actually going to watch it very soon because he works a lot with that director, and they just had another movie come out called White Noise.
Yeah.
So
Adam Driver's great.
Adam Driver is great,
And he is actually really good in that sequel trilogy. He's the best, like, performance.
Yeah,
So.
and Kylo Ren's the best character, and it wasn't used well enough, especially like looking from movie to movie to movie. What's really annoying is that Rian Johnson, I think, did a great job with Last Jedi. So if they would have just been his for like all 3 of them instead of it being J.J. Abrams and whatever crap he was doing, and then Rian Johnson gets one that feels completely disconnected. So then they just bring J.J. back, because didn't like the original director for the third one.
It was supposed to be Colin Trevorrow.
That's right,
Who
yeah.
directed Jurassic World and Dominion.
Right. Yeah.
Which that was like the opposite scenario where he like just didn't direct the middle one.
Yeah. So then, yeah, and then J.J. Abrams ends up directing the third Rise of Skywalker, which is
I don't know,
awful.
if you ever-
bringing back Palpatine is still the
If
stupidest
you ever
thing
have the
I've
opportunity-
ever seen in a movie ever.
If you ever have the opportunity, you should look into what Colin Trevorrow's episode 9 was, because it actually has been leaked.
Isn't that video we watched that one day?
What his storyline was. It might have been.
I know we talked about that a bit before, and the one that we
It was
saw
going to be called. It was
way
going to be.
better.
Sean will like this. His episode 9 was called Duel of the Fates.
Yes.
So it was a throwback to episode 1. So like it was full circle.
That would have been.
And the actual final battle was actually Kylo Ren was the main bad guy. Like he doesn't turn good.
Yeah, that would have
Better
been
than what happened,
been so
in
much
my
better.
opinion.
And
They
Ray
just
has a
randomly throws
Ray has a
lightsaber.
double-bladed lightsaber the whole movie. She wears like a outfit similar to Luke in Return of the Jedi, but like a girl, obviously. Finn leads an uprising of stormtroopers in a final battle at
They
Coruscant.
made Finn useful.
And Coruscant is the final battle location. Hux like collects lightsabers and kills himself with Mace Windu's once he realizes he lost.
Would have been so much better.
They introduce Plagueis' master, and Kylo Ren kills him after he learns his ways.
This would have been a movie.
Force Ghost Luke fights Kylo Ren and grabs his lightsaber with his own hand as a Force Ghost. Like how Yoda can interact with the real world.
That would have been cool.
Would have been so much better.
Leia had a role, because this was written before she passed away, but obviously.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was so much better. There's like a literal whole storyboards and everything. I think Chewie dies though, but he has like a really good death. Unlike in Rise of Skywalker, where it's like he died 2 seconds later. He's fine.
He didn't die.
We actually just found him in the wreckage. He's fine.
He's just fine. What are you talking about? Chewie's okay. I hate the Rise of Skywalker.
So do I. I also don't understand his turning point. She stabs him
Because his
the
mom
Jedi
died.
way, and
Yeah.
you know,
God,
out of
so
pure
bad,
rage,
dude.
the whole like. I understand like trying to create character progression like with Luke, but she had no character progression. She just got angrier and then was okay in the end.
Well, it was cool that the final battle in the actual canceled Episode 9 was actually important, because you get to see what Coruscant looks like after
And you see
all the
that would've been
trilogies.
Cool.
And having a Stormtrooper uprising makes sense, because that's been like set up. And like Finn, Finn becomes a good guy, but he just kills Stormtroopers after that anyway, when he should know that these are brainwashed children. So you're just killing brainwashed children and not trying to help them.
No. I don't know what they were doing with Finn. Like, out of all the characters...
He was great in Episode 7.
No,
Episode 7
yeah.
had really great introductions. It just wasn't a great movie.
Yeah, Episode 7, it was a good building point. And then Episode 8 was a good movie, but it felt completely disconnected from 7. And then
Episode 8 had its
9
own problems, a lot in fault, because they didn't mix well with the previous film.
Exactly. And then
Like, you can't have Luke set up the way that they did in Force Awakens just to have it how it was in The Last Jedi. Because then it just feels like a big F you.
Yeah, it kind of was.
Even if it was good in Last Jedi on its own.
Right.
Like, I love Luke in The Last Jedi.
Exactly.
But I don't love Luke The Last Jedi
Because
in
if
the
the Last
whole of
Jedi,
Star
if
Wars.
The Last Jedi was a standalone Star Wars movie, it'd be fantastic. And
But then J.J. Abrams is like, look, Force Ghost Luke, he lifted the extra. There was actually also no Palpatine. Oh, wait, there's actually a really cool scene, because you remember, I really wanted to watch this Duel of the Fates movie. There was, because you remember in Empire Strikes Back how Luke, like, briefly fights Darth Vader in, like, a vision?
Yes.
When Kylo Ren goes to meet, Plagueis' master, he has a similar, like, cave scene, but he has a fight with Darth Vader, and there's a full-on duel between the two where Darth Vader beats him and calls him weak. That was written.
Why did they get rid of this? I don't understand.
So, like, the literal thing where confronting the past from The Last Jedi actually, like, comes full circle there. Because I guess Colin Trevorrow actually, like, met with Rian Johnson to make sure, like, things, like, went forward in a way. So, like, I don't know why they fired him. I guess one reason is because they had, like, Force Ghost Luke in it too much. And I was like,
So?
he's the main character.
Yeah,
Disney really hates Luke. I don't know why.
Just ruin him and then...
he's
don't let him
Luke
come back.
Skywalker. He's the face of Star Wars.
Well, I guess...
He was cool in The Mandalorian, but it just looked weird.
Ruin.
Which he also comes back in Book of Boba Fett. For, like, 2 scenes.
Who does?
Luke. Like, with the de-aging again.
Really?
Yeah. Star Wars is a mess. Now we're on a Star Wars... This has been an hour and 3 minutes.
I mean, yeah, we could call it.
We'll be back next week.
But yeah, 2022 was a okay year for
It was
movies,
a year.
I guess. It happened. Now it's 2023, and we can only look ahead. And also look back at Star Wars, because Rise of Skywalker was terrible, and I wish Duel of the Fates is what happened instead. But yeah, thanks for listening. Like, comment, subscribe, whatever.
Bye-bye.